It really has been. The 61st Munich Security Conference it really did highlight a lot of very critical issues in the global security atmosphere, you could say. Starting off with the speech from the Vice President of the U.S., J.D. Vance, in which he criticized European democracy, saying that Europeans were not allowing the voice of the right into conversations, whereby there was a lot of rebuttal from different European leaders, particularly here in Germany. Then we also had calls from EU nations to commit more to defense spending. Now, this is an issue that's been going on for a few years at the MSC after Trump threatened to withdraw in his last term, withdraw his country from NATO if European countries didn't abide by the 2% of GDP mandate on defense spending for NATO. And of course, the urgency of EU nations to come up with a concrete peace plan for Ukraine. I think that was one of the most critical issues discussed this weekend here in Munich. EU has been spending a lot of money. They've been sending arms. They've been supporting Ukraine in that way, but they have yet to come forward with a concrete plan of how to bring about peace in Ukraine. Trump and Putin, meanwhile, the president of Russia, had a phone conversation in which they started to discuss the peace process. So the EU is now concerned that they will be left out of those negotiations. Well, while there's no Russian delegation here in Munich, they were again not invited to the talks this weekend. We did hear from the Kremlin spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, who took to Russian state TV over the weekend to discuss the call between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, and emphasized that it was a significant shift towards resolving issues through dialogue. We will now talk about peace, not war. So it looks like there's some progression in that direction. But again, Europe wants and needs to be on that table of discussions. So thus the conversation that's going to take place this upcoming week in Paris. But I think the exclamation mark of the whole summit was really said by the conference chairman in his closing remarks, Christoph Heusgen, when he said, "We have to fear that our common value base is not that common anymore." This is the last conference for Mr. Heusgen. Next year, the conference will be chaired by the former NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg.